Grew up in the projects with King Courts, born and raised there for 16 years. I mean, I didn't come from a dysfunctional like family, but well, my mother divorced. I was 6 years old, so I wasn't able to oppose to some dysfunctional. At the time, I'm 6 years old. I mean, I don't remember any fights and none. I remember them just separating at the age of six. At the age of six, At the time, my mother was left with 9 children to raise. Most of the time, it's hard to get by. We have good days, and we struggled a whole lot. Hard to make it. Getting food stamps and mother getting welfare and stuff like that. We can have so much to provide on from month to month. I had a lot of fights. Growing up. A lot of people used to bully me a whole lot also. All that just comes with the turf for growing up, being a young African American man here in the United States. Especially in the rough areas, low poverty areas. Got to hanging out with a group of guys. Call ourselves 40 neighborhood gangster crip gang. It was like 200 of us starting off. Got initiated and we did all sorts of all types of crime, which I got most of them I got convicted of. I got caught and, just doing wild stuff. Because most of us, wasn't disciplined. We was just involved in the gang activities. We was out in the streets and using drugs heavily. Most of them was selling drugs. I got myself involved in that organization and for the safety, and then not only that, just to have someone that I can just feel, I can just hang out with and just feel like a need of someone that I could love, and needed the guidance and help out in the streets instead of having a father figure. Most of us then that grew up in the gang, most of us was without fathers, so we had to form a organization that that we can teach and train and motivate ourselves. And what led me to be out here on the streets, today, homeless. I mean, I lost my mother to a brain aneurysm, and I also lost my grandmother 3 years ago of cancer, and an uncle 2 months ago. The same year of my grandmother leaving, his mother in 2 months period of time. She died in September, and the same year he died in November. So that took a toll on me also, and that support, that family support, was just the chain of support was kind of, it done left, so there was a void there for me, and I ended up, kind of end up living on the streets for a period of a year and a half. It's been rough out here on the streets. It's not safe at all. We had some good days. You had to laugh. We had some good days and some rough days also. Can't. It's hard and rough. Can't even wash, take a shower, and go get in the cool AC for a period of time. And we had some wild experiences one night. Some of the guys who was living in the area, getting drunk all the time and different arguments. It led me to being cut, stabbed on my arm one night, just living out in the streets and living in the tents, Not only have I lived in tents, I done lived, on church grounds where I was safe at, I slept in cemeteries, in cars, I slept in cars for several months, I don't have an ID because my ID been expired for 3.5 years, which caused me not to stand still. I can't do anything without an ID, I've got to have the requirements for it. I don't have a place, that I can the bills that are paying any bills, in my name, that I can have a place to proof of residence. I don't even have, so that's one of the requirements that I have to have for the state of Texas, kind of Texas, to have your ID, here. I have faith in God, I've been going to church here recently, and after hearing the Word of God and studying His Word and meditating on His Word, and and I asked Him to give me wisdom and knowledge and understanding before I read this Word, and He does that, and it seems like now He kind of right now today in my life, even though I'm still struggling, but I have done had some help nowadays. It seems like God done work through the people and it seems like we're getting more help now. And since I've been going to church, and trying to be obedient with the word, with His word, basically, I regret that, the biggest mistake I ever had regret in life was that. I mean, wish I could just get close to my mother. You know what I'm saying? I was close to her, but give my mother the more time that I would want to give her now that she's deceased now. You know what I'm saying? That I regret. And for I never told my mom in a day of my life that although I loved her, I always have loved her. I never told her I loved her. Even though she's deceased now, that's the biggest regret I ever made in my life. Being a man, young man out here, And I never told my parents that my father neither. Those are the biggest regrets I can pretty much make. I haven't made.